Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trilogy. That's the full title. Where we were on day 3 trial ladder of episode 5. I'm losing track of... It's the second time we've gone to a trial, and it's the second half of that trial. I believe. That's what was happening. As for what was happening actually in the trial, we, basically proved... Because there was, the guy was apparently murdered in 2 places at the same time. Anyway, we basically confirmed that the guy did not die at the first place. And let's see where we go from there.
Yeah.
It's a very in-depth trial. It's not simple like some of the earlier ones.
Each one about Maya.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Scott. Emma didn't come back. Yeah, what happened to her? I forget. Oh, they were bringing up... Let me see if I can find it. They're bringing up that other trial, the SL9 one. The Joe Dart killings, and she
left after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these victims, including a marshal, so a marshal died. They also killed Kirby. Anyway. She was a witness for whatever this trial was. And she didn't know it by the name SL9, so she didn't realize it was the thing she was involved in. So she kind of had to step out.
How dare they do that to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Allow me to call the witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
So somebody said the noise when they're talking was a little too loud, so I reduced it. This is as low as it can go, and it might make it a little harder to hear the objections, but I think it'd be worth it because there's... yeah. So hopefully it's still good. Anyway.
Yeah.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
I know, you're a patrolman. Patrolman.
Really.
As for one day, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. The day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
In old English.
Starts going thou, must... Day of the crime.
My job was keeping a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security cameras anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
Can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Day of the crime. I guess just press everything, unless something popped out at you.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
And we have so much evidence. Oh my god.
A lot.
How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room?
I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even timed as of now. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings.
You interred them?
Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing part of my life.
This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
No desperado I know lets rules get in his way.
No desperados I know joined the police force. So Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime?
Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
There's a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. Haven't been in that crypt in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired?
Who knows?
You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence.
And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism.
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
That's quite, incredible.
The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence.
Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that, too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? What were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. Not even angel stick lunches can beat that parlor's Van Gogh state sepia pasta.
Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles?
No desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to raise this year?"
Yeah, true.
Out of ammo, Officer Marshall?
That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me down in this crime, you better draw. Otherwise, you just wasted my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that.
Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I better up the ante. Well, he says if I don't have any evidence. We have evidence that his fingerprints are in there, right?
Yeah.
So I just throw that at it?
Yes.
Marshall. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
You dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is to make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints will be in there.
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Uh-oh.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? The blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? Blood was wiped away. However, aluminum test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
Seems to me, there ain't a person in this room with the head on his shoulders.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints.
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints, found at the scene of the crime. Blood-stained fingerprints.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be in the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? I had nothing to do with it.
We can actually counteract that because with the fingerprint testing thing that we have, kit, it's got to have like a clear fingerprint, and with blood covering it up, I don't think you'd be able to see the fingerprint. So someone wasn't wearing gloves.
The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
Defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Blood-stained fingerprints.
Wow.
Well, you got an idea of what to throw at what, or do you want to just press it?
Well, my thought is on the fingerprint testing device, on that one. Because there were clear fingerprints there. And if someone did cover it up with like blood or whatever, we wouldn't be able to read the fingerprint. the blood would have to be removed, and therefore the fingerprint as well. Unless my reasoning doesn't seem sound, in which you can inform me.
I don't know, let's press and see if we can get a specific which one to throw it at. Like the glove thing, I don't know. What would...
Alright.
I don't know, let's just press and see what we get. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my fingerprints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's program. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without even knowing. Marshall's fingerprints updated in the court record. So now we know it's his own lockers. This is why you gotta press sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's do more pressing.
There was a blood on it.
So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker's covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened.
The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. Chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with that new fingerprint. You wanna know why?
Unrelated?
They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder.
Right, although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this.
I thought those were. Oh, no, homonyms are. Yeah. Synonyms are like.
Yeah.
Something different.
It's like, yeah, how do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports.
There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
That picture?
A sea of blood. And the desert's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality. That's this.
Security tape.
So long as my trial isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video. Do we have a way to prove it was him? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Let's look at the video again, though, just because I can't fast forward anymore.
Nah.
He's got a knife.
Oh my god. Ding, ding, ding.
Kirby. He's with us in spirit, even though he was murdered. Wait, was that at the end? There's a plot sticking out of it, so it's opened and closed while we weren't looking at it.
Oh my god, how did we not notice that?
Yeah, how did we not notice that? Somebody in the comments will probably say, I noticed it back in the first part.
Yeah,
So I guess we can present the evidence of that, right?
I'm joking. Everyone, we record these. We are so many videos ahead. We wouldn't be able to know.
What's that
But
word?
thank you for participating in spirit.
Failed. It might be one of those things where I have to like press it to get like the actual question I want.
Maybe.
What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to this crime? Isn't that right, bud?
Oh wait, maybe I do the fingerprint that says that it's his locker because it was open and closed. Maybe that's what I do.
Yeah.
If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
That video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. Yeah, they should really just have two cameras in here so it doesn't need to pan. It just stays
Right.
looking in both directions. Would have solved this whole problem.
But I guess there would be blind spots with that too.
Yeah. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, such as the person who regularly watches the cameras, and they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Show evidence.
Show evidence.
After saving, though, because we're cowards that way.
Well, I'm no coward. I'm definitely a coward.
Fire. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright. Or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Don't go to the end and click on that part there. Right. I feel like that's the best part to do it at.
Meekins get demolished.
Officer Meekins, no. Click on that, right?
Yep.
Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Locker with the white cloth sticking out? That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. shown rewinding. Do we have to rewind at normal speed?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order! It would seem that's the only...
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and snuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm one of man? Like I'm a one man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call you bluff. You say I opened the locker. Now prove it.
The evidence about the locker, I guess.
Marshall's
So the
own
locker.
Or is it this? Only the assigned
Maybe that, because
detective's prints.
Yeah.
I mean, this seems like it's directly answering the question, so this should work, hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force who don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
Only got one word for you, partner. No!
There's an anime screen for y'all.
Order, order, order! Witness, explain yourself.
If this is a joke, it's the worst one I've heard.
I assure you that this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olay, please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. That's so then, where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right, the only possible conclusion. What do you think it is?
I don't know what exactly to put here.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Well, I mean, assumedly, he would be the killer. That's kind of the only option indicating.
Well, I guess he's the victim because we're still going off Meekins murdering him, even though that clearly is never what the video showed, so I don't know why anybody ever thought that happened.
And how would he be the victim if Meekins was the one that was attacked?
Right, but I assume the V means him because that he's in the locker and then Meekins came in. I think. I could be wrong.
Maybe?
I'm just...
Well, let's try it.
So should I do the V first or the...
Sure.
I mean, if I'm wrong, then like...
Hey.
It's fault for being
Pretty loud.
Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman.
That's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. I entered the evidence room. I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. The man had his ID card. Why didn't he just show it? Yes, you would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as a victim.
Can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I could see the fear in your eyes, partner. It seems you're the only one who couldn't take the desert heat.
This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape.
We don't have to. I know why it is.
Yeah.
Because he walked behind the camera and not in front of it. He knew the camera was there.
After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. Well, do you know the answer? Why he had to
Why
open
he
the
had to
locker.
open his locker? Because there was no other choice. He had to open his own locker. That's the only one he can get into.
And why would he need to put a white cloth in it?
To get rid of evidence.
Which evidence?
Cloth of wiping off blood of the knife. Blood of the knife. Is me wrong?
Or the blood on the white cloth, the white jacket he was wearing. He stuffed it into the locker because he can't just sneak out with while he's wearing that. Because there's blood all over it.
That's
Maybe,
true.
that's what I think it is.
That's a better observation. Nice.
So, did he cook on that?
Yeah.
For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman. You entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet.
Yeah?
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now. Now would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did, all of it.
Alright. It seems the time has come.
Marshall's confession.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID, dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't get me caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 515.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be?
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
It's way too much blood for such a small donation.
Yeah.
Marshall's confession. I guess press everything.
Yeah.
The press everything game. When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, Barney?
the SL9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day.
Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When the case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? One of the victims was a Marshall.
Mm.
That day was my last chance. That's why
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
So you did it to fool the security camera?
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that last item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. He's tampering with the scene of the crime. Planting evidence.
Yeah. Oh, that ain't looking good for him. No siree.
So, essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean the fingerprint. Activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall.
Wow.
He pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off.
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
When did Edgeworth get so much influence?
Who knows?
Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way.
I mean, he just like pull a knife on an officer. I mean, what did you think was gonna happen?
Right.
Me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out, and... So you did your research beforehand.
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, so security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the chick would have been out. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day... The blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole evidence from the locker?
Actually, no, I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Our way, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Yeah.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one's mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
Remember the Joe Dark case? It involved serial murderers. Didn't it?
It's okay.
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at the trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. The feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. I assume it's... because the victim is Neil Marshall and he's also Marshall, so he has a personal reason to want to know what happened in that case.
Yeah.
Behold!
Objection.
Objection! Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall, are you related to this man?
Near Marshall.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, you received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did.
That's right. He was killed. And the case fell under your hand.
What's his relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, then the deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were under desperate prosecute. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark looked behind any evidence. That was all we needed.
What is that word?
Arraigned?
Arraigned. Okay.
He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions?
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
It was the last day of the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. But then Kirby was there.
Kirby.
Yes, the mystery has finally been cleared up. A murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, the fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance? It's got to be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner.
All of the mysteries of the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
objection.
Objection.
Arg.
Screaming instead.
I rest my case.
Do not do that. No, but either.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I don't need to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. The court finds the defendant... Hold it. Oh my goodness.
What are you doing on the stand? Your Honor, wait.
Emma.
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, Wright? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Aw, how nice of him.
What a sweetheart. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters are in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do the other day. So, his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found in the Detective Gumshoe's locker?
No fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again.
So, did you find anything?
No.
Huh?
Sorry. Guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
I'm just an attorney.
Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use.
Let me just check the recording again. I love doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the locker that the foot handprint is on is, like, right
I'm
behind
scared.
the, Blue Badger
Blue Badger. Yeah.
on the day of the crime, so it can't be from then. It's gotta be from some other time. Presumably before, could be after.
Yeah. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Just answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I object.
I
There's no
object.
problem. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
I've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something that hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. All this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing on the floor plans? This has been in our evidence, we haven't used it directly, but...
Yep. Alan. Oh, he's back on the stand. Just shoved her away, I guess.
Shoved her out of the way. He's like, to take a drink.
Yep.
What about that piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So?
So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right, so long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What?
Oh my god.
So that means, just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Oh, she just walked up here. She was just on the stand.
She's like, I took my rightful place behind Phoenix, or to the side of Phoenix.
Yep.
Emma?
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would have been impossible to leave a handprint in the locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment, I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time... someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Can you pause the recording real quick?
Yes.
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? Which shows when the first crime took place. I mean, this had the blood on it, right?
I guess.
Would it be black? It was old, right? That's one option.
Well, I mean, blood dries like within an hour.
Yeah, but I mean, it would
And
have...
it turns black.
Let me just look at this again. See if we get new hints.
Hey, look. Hard to make out, but there's some dark red stains here.
Looks like blood.
Do you think Detective Goodman's blood got somehow on this whenever he was stabbed?
Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. Maybe months isn't what we're looking for. This jar was evidence of SL9 incident. That might be when the blood got. Might.
Might.
But do we have any other options?
We need something with a time frame clapped onto it.
Alright. It's a screwdriver, that doesn't help us. Let's screw completely from a different entire case. Oh, maybe this, because this is times, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It says February 21st.
Yeah. So let's see. We know that the Bruce Goodman, that was when Marshall stole his ID card. He was writing a report earlier that he lost his card. So if he was in that room, he'd have to have used a different card to get in, right? So
Yeah.
maybe the sevens, or he stole Miles Edgeworth, just went in there, and Miles Edgeworth hasn't noticed yet, but he said he was already in there, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't notice the blood.
Well, I guess he couldn't have noticed it if the Blue Badger was in the way, though.
Yes. I can't remember when Meekins... The 450 is when Meekins brought it in, right? So he
I
didn't
think.
bring it in until after that.
Oh. So that would only fit our claims. Sorry.
Unless we're just gonna accuse Edgeworth of doing the crime.
Edward
Sorry,
did.
Edgeworth, we gotta throw you under the bus for a second just so we can get another day. You wanna go with that? I don't know anything else that's jumping out at me.
I suppose.
It's either
I
that
don't
or
want to throw him on the bus, but I
Let's-
mean...
I guess. Ready to do it. Oh no, the music can change. Oh, it might still be it. The crime took place inside the evidence room, and the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card reader! Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at... Let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be... 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy.
Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
No, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
It would have just been 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away.
Yeah, he would have had, yeah.
And clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
Now I must pause real quick, BRB. Hey, did you already read that? I can't remember.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. How many sevens that is? 7 sevens? Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Talk about a lucky number.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777 sevens. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. As soon as possible. We'll find out whose ID number is 7777777.
That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of the ID card. At least, at present.
What?
Explain yourself, sir.
The ID card number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
That's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
An official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge.
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question.
Yes.
No, not you. Her, the defendant sitting over there. You own Little Executive.
Lana?
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up at her ID number, and it's not 7777777.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I wanted. What I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
So 9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Lana,
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator, in the crime, in the eye, and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you did it! I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
but Lana,
Even if it involved forging evidence.
it's such a shocking event. And you have, like, people pulling evidence out of the blue and
Yeah.
forging it all the time.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
No. No.
Order, 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 order! Lana's remarks caused such a stir, the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day.
Yes, good timing.
We did it! We won the trial for now. Now it's time for the investigation of Day 3. Whew, it seems like a good place to split it.
Yeah.
Everyone, if you enjoyed this and all the Kirby noises, then liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing are all appreciated. The most important thing, though, that thou must absolutely do is have a Kirby wonderful day, a wonderful Kirby day. I forgot how to work him into it.